Viewers, over 60 days, Times Now has led the campaign for closure for Sushant Singh Rajput's family. Viewers, 41 days ago, central agencies were entrusted by the Supreme Court to deliver speedy justice to Sushant Singh Rajput's family. The family believes that Sushant Singh Rajput did not commit suicide. They filed a case against Rhea Chakraborty. The Supreme Court, in its wisdom, felt that the matter needed to be placed in the care of a premier investigative agency like the Central Bureau of Investigation. But today, 41 days later, that pursuit has been reduced to a 38-word press release that in fact prompts more questions than it answers, viewers. The CBI, after 41 days, yes, 41 days, cannot definitively tell us the cause of death. Even today they say that nothing can be ruled out. It's written in black and white in that statement. What's worse, viewers, is that the CBI's inability to crack this case in 41 days, even though in its own defense it will say it has 90 days to file a charge sheet, and that is, of course, accepted. But from a premier agency, this sort of a delay, where not even a status report has been filed, is inexplicable. The Mumbai police was criticized for not doing anything for 60 days. The CBI is only now about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks away from that 60-day mark. Now, because the CBI has not been able to deliver, what we are hearing is that a large number of those individuals who stand accused, who have been called in for questioning, who have been detained, are now thinking of filing a counter case against the central investigative agencies. Instead of an investigation, activists have accused the agencies of carrying out a witch hunt in the name of a credible probe. Even the agencies like Enforcement Directorate have drawn a blank after leaking leads to suggest that Rhea had looted Sushant Singh Rajput. Don't be surprised if Rhea Chakraborty's counsel moves against the Enforcement Directorate once the storm blows over. The Narcotics Control Bureau, viewers, that willingly parted with private WhatsApps to suggest that Sushant was drugged by Rhea and a dirty drug cartel involving some top stars was in an active nexus with the underworld, has reduced itself to a spectacle. In fact, if you remember, Times Now reported that it had taken the phones from the A-listers, from Deepika and the others it questioned. But viewers, you won't believe this. The agency forgot to make them sign documentation that allows for such transfer under the law. And today they were chasing these actors to sign that form. In all these days, it has not publicly made one charge, one recovery that can stand the test of judicial scrutiny. Even an individual like Kshitij, and this is breaking news coming in, Kshitij, who once worked with Karan Johar, came out and said, viewers, just about yesterday, that he had been tortured into incriminating Karan Johar. Of course, the NCB now, in damage control mode, has issued a statement. And it is said that even the court doesn't agree with Kshitij. Even the court, it says, never determined that Kshitij was coerced or physically tortured, that he's lying, that Satish Mane Shinde, who is assisting him, is cooking up a fable to protect certain individuals. Now, viewers, there is massive confusion. And I want to quickly go across to Bhavtosh and our other reporters. Bhavtosh, this matter with Kshitij coming out and saying that he was tortured into incriminating Karan Johar, well, The NCB denies it. What is the NCB saying?
Well, Rahul, the denial has come more than 24 hours later. In the statement that has been issued by the NCB, they have said that this is a completely malicious statement that has been released by Satish Manshinde. He said that it's devoid of truth and that they can unambiguously say that Kshitij Prasad was not tortured. In fact, they have went on and said that when the hearing took place, hearing took place through video conferencing, at no point of time Kshitij said that he was tortured by any of the officers of NCB. Interestingly, in the statement, while the family claimed that only a bud of cigarette was recovered by NCB now claims that incriminating evidence has been recovered, but they have not defined what this incriminating seizure is. So clearly a war of words between NCB and Satish Manshinde, and it would only get uglier in days to come.
These viewers are under fire. Many people are now saying that the delay is because they actually have nothing, no evidence. That this was a political exercise directed by the government, the state government in Bihar, rubber stamped by the center. Why? Because of the Bihar elections. Why? Because the government that is not doing very well by the state wanted to use an emotional card to rally its vote base. Many such questions, viewers, are going to arise. In the meantime, we're also hearing that Deepika Padukone has decided to come out and put what is her side of the story. Let's go to that big breaking news, viewers. We are being told that Deepika Padukone has come out and said that all these references to weed and hash have nothing to do with the consumption of drugs. That these are her casual code words. Maal refers to cigarettes. Weed refers to fat cigarettes and hash to slim cigarettes. So viewers, Deepika Padukone has come out and taken this plea. The Narcotics Control Bureau has nothing, at least on the face of it, to suggest otherwise. It's not as if the other person who was supplying her or who Deepika was speaking to, Karishma, is endorsing what was in the chats. So what will the NCB do? Well, at this moment, it's at the mercy, quite frankly, of lawyers and activists who are now saying that they're going to take legal action against the agencies for defaming the character of some of these A-list actors. Image is everything for them. I told you, viewers. And the agencies are running out of time now, viewers, running out of time. To do what? To restore their credibility. And I want to open this out. Siddhant, this is very, very interesting. We are now being told that Deepika Padukone has dismissed references to weed, to hash, to maal as cigarettes. How can the NCB counter this?
Well, yes, Rahul, you're absolutely right. Day before yesterday, we were the first to break the story that Deepika has completely denied using drugs ever in her life. She also has to say that these are her lingos, quite popular in her friend circle and amongst her professional people, and this is the reason that she has been using it. Now, agency has those chats of 2017 where before the party in Coco, she is asking for a maal, weed, hash from Karishma. Now she has accepted that yes, those chats did take place, but those are the popular lingos amongst her friend circle. Now the fact here is, Rahul, this is the reason that agency had decided to seize the cell phone of Deepika Padukone. Now Deepika's cell phone is currently with the agency. The seizures have been made. Now the mirror image of that phone would be taken and agency will get into the data of that phone. whether Deepika Padukone is lying or whether these were the lingos amongst the friend circle. So though they are going to go through all those chats, all those messages, and if anything incriminating comes up in those chats and the data retrieved from Deepika's phone, then in all likelihood she would be summoned again. Now, agency has told me very categorically that none of these A-listers, none of these leading ladies have got clean chit from the agencies. Their examination, first session of examination
how does that
is over.
square? How
If
does that
anything
square? Let me bring in Ishkaran Bhandari, one of top lawyers. Let me just bring him in on this. Ishkaran, you've heard our reporters. The NCB says, look, we can still summon these actors back. In fact, we are summoning 6 more actors. That's also something that we are reporting here and breaking on the channel. But Ishkaran Bhandari, this particular agency, including the CBI, I'm sorry to say, as well as the Enforcement Directorate, look to have hit a wall. And this is of serious concern because Times Now has been campaigning for closure, not even justice, but closure for the family of Sushant Singh Rajput. It's been more than 100 days, 106 days to be precise. They deserve some answer, whether it is suicide, whether it is, abetment or murder or what have you. They deserve some answers. What are we doing here?
Rahul, first of all, I would like to congratulate you because you were this unsparing in asking questions to Mumbai police, and you have the same unsparing language when you are asking questions to CBI or NCB. So my congratulations to you, because a lot of people who were cheerleading when you were asking questions to Mumbai police will now attack you because you are asking these questions. The questions have to be asked fairly. It is 40 days, and more than the NCB also. It is 40 days since the case is with CBI. CBI has to answer, are they prima facie thinking it's a case of murder? What are they doing? If they think it's a case of murder, they have to add the appropriate section. That is what the family lawyer also said, that they have to add the appropriate section if they believe it's a case of murder. If it is not a case of murder, what is it case about? It is 40 days. And all those who say, why are you questioning this delay? They never said this when delay of Mumbai police was being questioned, because Mumbai police had the same argument that we are in the middle of investigation, let us do, we will answer it in the end. End of the day, we are all interested in justice for Sushant Singh Rajput, and that justice has to be delivered. CBI has all the powers in the world. If it believes some politician is involved, summon the politician. If it believes some influential person is involved, summon the influential person. What is stopping the CBI? Nothing can stop the CBI. Nothing can stop the CBI. And that is why I said very clearly, from 1st July, I have been saying justice for Sushant Singh Rajput, and that is not dependent on which is the party or which is the political power the investigative agency may report to. The point of justice is that we find justice and we find closure for the family and for millions of people, and that justice has to come.
Yes.
Cannot be given by opaque statements. These are
Yes.
opaque statements. We rule out nothing, we confirm nothing. What does that exactly mean?
God knows.
You rule out something, you confirm something. So please, I appreciate that you are using this, and I want this forum to say this. Anybody responsible, please summon. Anybody you believe guilty, please arrest. But get justice, reach justice in this case.
Justice must be done, but also must seem to be done, viewers. Remember that it's an old axiom that all depends on the proof that you can submit against a particular individual. Now, people like Rhea Chakraborty have been put behind bars. Her bail petition comes up tomorrow in the High Court. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm not going to sit here and prejudge that particular hearing. But the fact is that this person has been in jail and the NCB has not a shred of evidence. And people are going to ask you, and let me bring in the MP and national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Syed Zafar Islam. Remember what we said, Mr. Islam, that whether it is the JDU, the BJP, the Shiv Sena, the Congress, the NCP, Times Now always will ask the questions that are relevant. Today, SSRians, the family, the lawyer, they're all saying, you've reduced this to a massive spectacle where Bollywood stars are being paraded, while the attention has completely gone off the Sushant Singh Rajput case. In fact, before you answer, listen to what the lawyer, who's at his wit's end, has had to say. This is Vikas Singh. Listen to him.
I will not say I am not happy with the probe. I will only say I am not happy with the speed at which the whole case is going. It is the speed which is worrying us. It is the lack of interest or the lack of importance that the case is being given that is worrying us. The CBI team is here for more than a week. They were supposed to meet the AIMS team. They have not even had a meeting with the AIMS team to my knowledge. And because of which the decision to convert this case from abetment to suicide, if at all, to murder is not taking place.
Mr. Islam, how do you respond to this? Many people already beginning to say, Mr. Islam, that this was the entire drama scripted to coincide with the Bihar elections.
Not at all. Not at all. There is absolutely no truth in that. Let me also first respond whatever the lawyer has stated. I think it was talking about accelerating the probe. See, CBI is an independent agency. They have evidence. Based on evidence, they investigate and then find new evidence to pursue that case. You cannot push them to accelerate the speed, and because they are doing the investigation. If they cannot be seen to be vindictive. They cannot be. They are an independent agency. They have to work independently. Everybody is interested in justice for Sushant, but it cannot be done at the cost of ignoring.
Sir, I'll tell you something. I'm not. You see, listen. This is beginning to fit a pattern. We saw that with Vadra. No, 1 second, sir. Please, let me tell you. We saw that with Vadra. Yeah. Yes, the matter against Vadra was raised in 2011, 2012 by the India Against Corruption. I understand that. The UPA did nothing, as it's won't, because many people said there's a conflict of interest. But many people also said there was nothing to investigate. Your government said that, look, Robert Vadra is going to be brought to book. Nothing has happened, sir. Enforcement Directorate is still looking, summoning. They've summoned Vadra. Nothing's happened. Several other cases. Should I start listing them? You'll be embarrassed. Well, is this going the same way?
No, Rahul. Let me ask you one thing.
No, Moin Qureshi yesterday, his case, the CBI. Listen to me, sir. Please listen to me. Look, you need to hear this. We can't have this dance from time to time. You know, the media gets played. We face brickbats. It's not right. You see what I'm saying? You had a Moin Qureshi case. Massive investigations were carried out. Listen to me, sir. Listen to me today. Massive investigations were carried out. The CBI, sir, the CBI has floundered. Yesterday, the court pulled it up. The agency for doing nothing in that case. Former CBI director was supposed to have been the most corrupt individual. That's what your government said. Your agency said nothing has come of it. There is a rap across the knuckles of these agencies. This is going the same way. Will you, sir, take responsibility tomorrow if people like Deepika Padukone or Sara Ali Khan, etc., come out and slap cases for defamation?
No, Rahul, they have their discretion. And as an individual, as a citizen of this country, the law of the land provides them that flexibility, and they can definitely go for that. But having said that, you cannot push an independent agency to pursue case because we don't have any.
So you can't push. You can't dictate the timeline. Okay, let me bring in the others. Okay, that's the defense tonight. By the way, viewers, the BJP says you can't push. You pushed and pushed and pushed the Mumbai police, but now you're giving leeway to the CBI. Something is not adding up, but forget it. I'll go straight across to the other side and let me bring in the other side. And at this moment, we have Ujjwal Nikam, India's public prosecutor, legend in his own right, the man who put the 2611 case right up front, concluded it. There was conviction, there was hanging, everything was done. Ujjwal Nikam, what do you make of this? Are we being unfair on the CBI? The BJP says they have 90 days, which is, of course, a fact. They can even go for an extension to the courts. But are we being unfair on the CBI, or are we within our rights today to ask for answers on the back of the dual standards that were taken with regards to the Mumbai police?
Rahul, you being a media person, definitely you have right to ask the question. But we have to keep in mind that no intelligent investigating agency would divulge the material collected during the course of the investigation. What you had earlier said, and why CBI did not file the status report. It is none the business of any investigating agency, or there is any legal provision which compels the investigating agency to give the detailed idea of the investigation to the victim or victim's family. Now, secondly, see, whole case rests on the circumstantial evidence. It's not a very easy task, and what has been expected by the panelists, that yes, why he was not summoned, why he should have been called, why the politician called. It's not a game. You see, CBI is the premier investigating agency, and ultimately the investigating agency has to collect the chain of the circumstances connecting with the crime. Here the question is the motive. Here is the question whether it is a suicide or whether it is a murder. So I think we have to give some time to the investigating agency to come out with the case. But at this juncture, we can't influence the investigating agency. I have a strong exception about the general press conference which has been taken by the family lawyer about the CBI's allegation. You see, one is at liberty to make allegation, no doubt. But at the same time, what has been expected, that why he has not been summoned, why he has not been taken into custodial interrogation. What do you mean by custodial interrogation? Without any proof, without any evidence? So I think what NCB is doing, their different angle. What CBI has to do, different angle. And how can we say that CBI is not doing anything? CBI has not divulged to anything material. It doesn't mean that CBI is not doing anything.
Okay.
And do we expect Rahul, that the investigating agency should disclose and divulge all the WhatsApp chat, all the
well, sir, let me tell you, when it suits their purpose, they do divulge. They do divulge. So they pick their battles. You know that better than I do. You know, you've been a public prosecutor in the 2611 case. So, you know how that game goes. But it's not about really what they divulge or what they not divulge. Okay, so you're saying, let's not be unfair. Most of the case is pegged on circumstantial evidence. Not easy to get circumstantial evidence. We should not be pressurizing. It's unfair of the family lawyers to pressurize. Sanjay Hegde, where do you come in on this? The CBI is being unfairly targeted. Now, politically also, Shiv Sena, other political parties are now turning the tables on the CBI. Is that fair?
No, I'm not concerned with this party or the CBI. My concern is with justice. Now, the system of justice in this country does not speak of a predetermined investigation or a predetermined trial. Investigation has to go on. It has to be independent. A trial has to be free and fair. And there is always the presumption of innocence. These are three fundamentals of a civilized society. Today, you have a set of people who say justice for Sushant Singh Rajput means only this. That is not it. If Sushant Singh Rajput had been alive, he probably would have also said, let the investigation play out. You see, if you rush the CBI, I will give you one other example. Remember the Arushi Talwar case? There were two sets of CBI investigators. One set said, no, there is no case to be made out. Another set said, yes, there is a case to be made out, let's go into trial. The trial court convicted, but the High Court then acquitted. If you rush in with a predetermined mind, you may end up spoiling the case altogether. Let facts play out. If it takes time, let it take time.
Okay, Ishkaran Bhandari wants to come in. Shahzad Poonawala lining himself up also for a quick rebuttal. Yes, Ishkaran Bhandari. I'm coming out to you, doctor, in 30 seconds. Yes, Ishkaran Bhandari. Yes.
Rahul, we cannot have different rules for Mumbai Police or CBI. CBI will take its own time. But if I heard the counsel for the family correctly, the counsel was very clear that we would have options in case CBI comes to a conclusion, which is not what the victim's family is expecting. A probe cannot be delayed indefinitely. While I agree 40 days is not indefinitely, but in this case, as we have been seeing from the beginning, we cannot have separate and different parameters. The asking questions is not pressurizing CBI. These are only questions being asked, which were being asked to Mumbai Police also.
Okay, but there is one significant difference.
We'll ask these questions.
Ishkaran Bhandari, one significant difference, and I don't want to take up the views of our panelists, but I want to bring to notice. 1 second, Mr. Syed Islam. 1 second, sir. Give me 30 seconds, please. There is one significant difference, and we've actually summed it up on air for you viewers. The approach of the Mumbai police, and of course on the other side, that of the CBI. Now, there are two different aspects of all of this. The Mumbai police, according to the Supreme Court, was not even conducting an investigation. That is what the Supreme Court said. It's there for you to read. Others will say that the CBI is at least conducting an investigation. The focus of the Mumbai police probe was on nepotism, which had very little to do with the concerns of the Sushant Singh Rajput's family. The Sushant Singh Rajput family thinks that this is either in the extreme a case of murder or an abetment to suicide. So the CBI is probing most of those angles. Because the Mumbai police did not pursue their investigation under a section of the CRPC, they could not even actually adduce statements in support of their investigation. The CBI can. So there are differences here, material differences, but still, does that excuse the delay? Shehzad Poonawalla, does that excuse the delay?
Rahul, can I just 10 seconds and then, of course, you can allow Shehzad to
Rahul,
One second.
Rahul, please, Mr. Zafar Islam, if I can make
your point, Shehzad
Zafar
Poonawalla,
Islam ji,
quickly.
if I can just
Get
have
into it.
30
Yes,
seconds,
get into it. Get into it. Don't hold back. Get into it. Make your point.
Yeah. Rahul, I am going to say something that is very important. Please give me some time. I blindly and completely trust a CBI functioning under the leadership of Mr. Modi and Amit Shah, then a Mumbai police functioning under the leadership of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, whose Home Minister came out in 45 minutes and declared it a suicide. The Home Minister of India has done no such thing, and unfortunately one of the panelists has gone missing on your show. That panelist is very senior leader has come out and he said that he knows the son of a politician who's involved, and he's given a clean chit to another son of a politician. Since they have so much information and I completely trust them, why haven't they helped the CBI probe by giving all this information to them rather than using this opportunity of the Sushant Singh Rajput case to settle their own personal grouses? Maybe they did not get a certain seat or they did not get a certain allocation.
Who are you referring to?
But having said that, sir, one fundamental difference that I would like to point out. I am referring to Dr. Subramaniam Swamy. And now, having said that, I will also say, and I have the proof and all, I don't get scared of anybody. I have the proof, I can show it to you if you want to give me that time. But having said that, I'd say another fundamental difference. In 40 days, the CBI inquired and interrogated the entire flatmates, Rhea Chakraborty and others, which the Mumbai police did not do. Today, if we have stumbled upon the drug nexus in Bollywood, and NCB has filed 2 FIRs, one in the Sushant matter, one in the drug matter, should we keep a blind eye on the Bollywood drug gang? Merely because some people have now colluded with those whom they were attacking.
No, but how are you saying it's a drug gang?
Because it might lead to that.
No, hang on. Just a minute. Shehzad Poonawalla, this is a libelous statement as of today. How are you saying it's a drug gang?
What is there to prove it?
What is there to prove it? Deepika Padukone has come out and said very clearly. One second, listen to me. She's come out. No, look, hang on. I don't hold a brief for anybody, but listen to me. Listen to me. She's come out and said that maal, hash, and weed are code names. That maal means cigarettes, and hash and weed are descriptions of cigarets. Do you have any way of disproving her? Maybe in her circles, that's what they refer to. Maybe it's a jokey thing. Who knows? I mean, the agency is not looking extremely bright here, you know.
So heard her new Norman, Rahul, may I make this point? These are the same excuses made in the Rhea Chakraborty drug chats which were put out by Times Now, and Rhea is now in jail for the last 14-20 days.
Is that right?
The court upheld
Many people will say it's not right.
Deepika,
tomorrow she might be out, then what are you going to say? No, Shehzad, 1 minute. Tomorrow is a very important hearing. No, 1 second. Listen to this. There's a hearing tomorrow, a High Court hearing. Tomorrow if she walks out, will you say that, oh, that's exoneration?
Please let it be held.
Don't make, you see this bail jail business, you know, bail is the norm, jail is the exception. So be careful. We don't all want to end up in jail one day, and then that should not be taken. That should not be taken as a sign of guilt. So I'm just saying.
Rahul.
Yeah, tell me. Tell me, Shehzad, tell me.
Because I'm playing devil's advocate, I require one line. I have not labeled anybody accused. I have been on a responsible channel like Times Now, which hasn't labeled anybody guilty.
That's
but
true.
if you have been summoned, we will better probe this matter. And those who are today defending those people, I want to ask that senior politician, if you know that one son is not responsible and the other son of a politician is, have you written to the CBI about the proof you have? You come and you milk TV time, you and your chamchas milk TV time on every television channel. Why don't you give that proof to the CBI instead of demanding on Twitter that 302 should be filed, this should be filed? I am with you, I am with the family, I am with Rahul Shivshankar, but I have had enough of these politicians who have exceeded their age and their utility and want another post in some sort of form, and then they come and make these ridiculous arguments. Rahul, I support Times Now's campaign, but I can't support those people.
That might be your personal. No, listen, that might be your personal. No, hang on. There are plenty of people. No, hang on. This might be your personal agenda against another individual from the BJP. You might be a hitman. You might be a hitman for the centre, whatever you want to do. But the point is, Shadar Poonawala, you're not equating yourself in a manner that is. No, you're not equating yourself on facts. The point is, you can ask questions. You can obviously say that yes, people should bring out the facts. They should come out and submit the proof. But hey, it is for the investigative agencies to find the proof.
The CBI
have we forgotten?
Modi, Amit Shah,
have we forgotten? Mr. Syed Zafar Islam. Mr. Islam. Yeah, one second. Mr. Syed Zafar Islam has been insisting. I'll bring you in, doctor. We're not running away from any of these questions tonight. Tough questions.
Syed
Zafar Islam, let me ask you this. You need to answer the family of Sushant Singh Rajput. When is your party come out in the last 10, 15, 20 days and said, why is the focus not on Sushant Singh Rajput? Why is it on Deepika? Why is it on Tinseltown? Why?
Rahul,
I thought you were concerned for justice.
Look, Rahul, as I said earlier, that we are indeed concerned.
Sir, I'll tell you something. If I open the call-in lines, which I will right now, you will hear viewer after viewer saying that a big travesty, closure is required.
Absolutely.
Enough.
Let me, Rahul.
106 days, sir, 106 days. Would you wait 106 days if your own child, God forbid, suffered?
No, but you shouldn't pose this question.
Why not?
Because
I'm asking this question.
I can also pose certain questions which you will not be able to respond to.
No, you answer me. You ask me. Ask me the question. Ask me, what question would you answer?
I was asking.
What would you want me to answer?
No.
Ask me a question. Which question?
We are not discussing about our families, but what is important, that as a representative of a party, you posed a question about my party as it stands. I wanted to just give you one simple clarification. The fundamental difference between Mumbai police...
Sir, 1 minute. Mr. Zafar Islam, you have to excuse me here. You moved.
Allow me to come.
I didn't. You argued for a CBI probe to get to the bottom of all of this quickly.
But I can't ask
41 days, come and gone. What's happening?
Rahul, as you rightly pointed out, Mumbai police was the boss of investigation because they were driven by the state government.
What is this?
Responsible. They are also.
Sir, do you want to answer the father of Sushant Singh Rajput?
Of course I can answer.
Have you filed a case against the police officers who didn't take
investigation
cognizance of the complaints they made? You have not even done that. We have had nobody. Forget about the supposedly guilty people, even those who did not investigate.
Independently.
Sir, even those from the Mumbai police that allegedly did not investigate, you have not filed a case against. Why? Can't I ask you if this is grandstanding?
Between the two situations. And I don't know why it is unnecessarily you are pushing the investigation to be accelerated when the CBI itself has said.
Why shouldn't we, sir? Why shouldn't we want this investigation accelerated? You wanted it accelerated 40 days ago. You moved the Supreme Court. Mr. Poonawala, would you like to answer? Because I don't think I'm getting a response from Mr. Islam.
No, you want a fair investigation or not? If the agency
Sir, you took it to the Supreme Court because you wanted a fair probe. Of course we want a fair probe.
That is being conducted by CBI.
When?
They are saying that they are covering everything.
Where? Have you seen any action in the last 25 days outside the CBI questioning headquarters in Mumbai? Zero.
CBI,
it's all happening at NCB. It's all happening at Enforcement Directorate. Where is the 17 crore, sir? 15 crore link? Where is the 15 crore link?
Rahul, can I just respond?
Don't test the patience of this country, sir. Don't test the patience of this country. This is wrong. Shahzad Poonawala, you answer. What has happened to the 15 crores? You can make pot shots at politicians. You tell me, where are the 15 crores? Where's the link? Whose pocket is that 15 crores gone in?
Rahul, absolutely. Rahul, your right to ask the CBI ED for an update on these aspects is completely taken on board.
Good.
But I am saying that as much as we ask these questions, let us also understand that the post-mortem was messed up. There was hardly any viscera left. The forensic evidence was destroyed by giving away the house of Sushant back
That
to
is
the
your
owners
claim.
of keeping it in
Has Mr.
safety.
Gupta from the
Mumbai
AIMS come
police
out and
has
verified
damaged
this?
the case
No,
to a
has
great
Mr. Gupta
extent.
from the AIMS told us this? He hasn't told us anything.
He will?
Has he had a meeting with the CBI? One
I have
meeting.
faith in every central
41
agency
days.
because it is
Listen,
Narendra
you don't
Modi
have
at
an
the
answer
center.
tonight,
It is
Shahzad
not Uddhav
Poonawala.
Thackeray. I
Usually
am
you're
saying
full
that I
of
have
grim
faith in these
answers.
agencies.
Today you're passing the buck. You're blaming
my faith
politicians.
lies-
You're passing the buck.
No, my-
You don't have an answer tonight. You don't have an
I am
answer
blaming
tonight.
those
Zero
Mir
answer.
Jafars. Of course
Zero.
I'm blaming Mir Jafars.
Zero.
I have faith in an institution which has the... No, right? That's your...
No, you tell me, if you have so much faith, should I tell you a roll call of cases that have ended up nowhere? Should I tell you what happened to the 2G case? Tell me.
So then why did we argue for it to go to the CBI?
I'm asking you,
Then should
sir.
have left it to
No, you
Mumbai
answer the
police, which was
question.
doing a
What happened to the
fantastic
2G case?
job.
What happened to the
These people
Vadra
have
case? What
colluded.
happened to the Moin Qureshi case? Should I take you through the list? What's happened to the Colgate case? Tell me.
There are plenty of cases.
There you are. You see, that was the point. This is the point. This is the point. Don't become an excuse. Don't become, sir, an excuse. Don't become an excuse provider for inefficiency and sloth. This is a test case for the public. If someone like Sushant Singh Rajput can't get justice for more than 110 days in this country, what about the common man? Let me open the call-in lines. Rajesh calling in from Hyderabad. Rajesh, you tell me, is Times Now wrong to ask the question that the people of India want asked?
Yes, certainly. And I was very eager to speak on this issue. Rahul, I must say that I am a supporter of BJP, but now I am totally disillusioned with BJP. Please convey my feelings to Mr. Zafar. I was always a supporter of BJP, but I was getting a doubt that BJP and Shiv Sena again may come together. And I'm totally disillusioned. And poor thing, what is
there was a meeting. I think what Mr. Rajesh is referring to is a meeting, purported meeting, but Mr. Fadnavis and Mr. Raut. क्या हो रहा है, sir? क्या हो रहा है? Tell me, Mr. Syed Zafar Islam, you've heard?
No, I heard him. And I understand the sentiments and I acknowledge it as well. But let me tell you that what he was referring to is a speculation which I cannot speak about it.
How convenient. Sane calling in from Goa. Our next viewer calling in from Goa. And listen to me. Dr. Suman C. Raman, before you jump in and say, that these callers have been rigged up by Times Now. Because that has also been said on this show. Now because it's suiting your narrative, because people are questioning the BJP, you're beaming. You're beaming
for that.
You're beaming. Look at you.
You're not willing to.
You're glowing. You're glowing.
Rahul.
See, I told you, viewers, I just want you to remember this. I just want you to remember this. We never filter the voices of our viewers. We never do it. Never. Under zero circumstances. So whenever you call and you have a view, it will go out there unfiltered, unless, of course, you turn unparliamentary. That's not acceptable. But certainly, viewers, when we connect you, we don't filter you. We don't ask you what are you going to say, who are you going to target, who are you going to attack, what is your stand going to be. So Dr. Suman C. Raman, remember that. Remember that. When you're sitting on Times Now, you're sitting on a channel that puts facts first. Now, 1 minute. I want to bring in Sane. Sane calling in from Goa. Yes, Sane.
Yes, so I just wanted to say that I really think it's not really the politicians who are doing all this. I feel it's the media channels who are trying to turn it around. Because all this while I've seen, even you all, I've seen other channels Your Honor, focused completely on the NCB probe. No one has shown anything
Okay.
of CBI.
Well, sir, it's a considered opinion. Our viewers will give their opinion, whether we like it or we don't. Jatin calling in from Delhi. Yes, sir. Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. My question is to all the parties and even to BJP. Dr. Subramaniam's, started this movement, and I never see him. He's questioning always to CBI on Twitter. Doesn't he have a courage to come on TV and talk to people, talk to Aam Janta who was associated with this case, who joined this case right from the beginning without even questioning him? They blindly trusted him. They blindly go whatever Subramaniam Swamy said. And even we have sympathy for SSR family, and we are with him. And also my question is to Shehzad Poonawalla, don't you think so that this is the right time to come out, for an open protest at Ramlila Maidan or at India Gate, even if it is COVID, if the protest can happen in the farm cases.
Question to you, Shehzad Poonawalla. Do you think it's the time to come out for an open protest against the centre and its agencies?
No, you misunderstood what Jatin has said. Jatin has said that if people have such great evidence with them, instead of being available on Twitter and TV channels, why don't they provide
you're
it
twisting
to the CBI?
it around. You're twisting it around. He's not being political, sir.
To now expose the media.
No, let's listen to Mr. No. Let's listen to Mr. Jatin. Mr. Jatin, are you making this political tonight?
The Mir Jafars of
Are you making it political?
Shehzad, will you join this open protest with me? Will you join this open protest with us? Just say yes or no.
110%, Jatin.
Okay, Jatin, your protest is about what? Your protest is going to be about what?
To get the justice in CBI, in
there you go.
SSR case.
CBI. Not against any other politician.
No, not against any political party.
Okay. Let me open this up. Dr. Suman Siraman, A.A. Khan, former IPS officer, also here with us. Dr. Suman Siraman, yes, go ahead.
First, Rahul, 2-3 points. The media has already set the narrative. You will not be satisfied with anything short of the CBI saying or producing evidence to show
don't put words in my mouth, sir. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not fair.
When I say you,
that's
I
not
mean
fair. Listen. Don't confuse us with. Don't confuse us with Ratpat channels, please.
You as in media.
I am asking. No, don't. You're sitting on Times Now. Let's talk about Times Now. We have always said that justice must seen to be done. Justice must be seen to be done. We are not leading this anywhere. We have reported leads. We put them out there.
What do you want the CBI to do if they don't simply find any evidence of foul play? What do you want them to do?
Well, they should file a report. They should say nothing has been found.
In due course, you cannot say that in 40 days an end-to-end investigation must be completed. The report must be filed.
No one is asking. We are just asking for a status report, my dear friend. Who's asking you for a chart sheet? Just give me a status report. Tell us that, okay, this investigation is going this direction or that direction. You can't even say that in 40 days. Then what are you doing?
I mean, they're not even supposed to, because it could jeopardize the investigation.
They're not supposed to. Right. Okay, not supposed to do it.
Otherwise, I would suggest
Mr. Lal, Mr. Khan,
1 minute.
Mr. A. Khan.
Live telecast.
Okay, the CBI is not supposed to come out. Fine. I mean, look, if that's the consensus on the panel, no problems. Viewers, we have no problems, as long as you have the patience. Mr. Khan, your response to this. CBI must not be pressured beyond a point. We need a fair and free investigation. Let's have one. Whether it takes 90 days, 190 days, 390 days, it doesn't matter. Durations don't matter. Outcomes do.
I think you're exaggerating. 390 and 490, that is carrying it too far. I've not really been able to understand what you or the media want. Initially, you flayed the Mumbai police mercilessly for delaying investigation, Mumbai police was not conducting investigation, it was conducting an inquiry. Ultimately, there was such an outcry that the Supreme Court, under its very special powers, under, I think, Article 142, considered this the rarest of rare cases and handed over to the CBI. The CBI sent his crack team, some of his best officers, and they're investigating with the help of AIMS. Now, you're not even satisfied with that. You're flying the CBI now. You're castigating them for delay. Why don't you wait for them to finish the inquiry? Why don't you wait for them to finish the investigation?
Fair enough.
I mean,
Mr. Khan, you've had the last word. You being a former IPS officer, I'm glad you've taken such a balanced point of view. Fair enough. We should not flay the CBI.
Rahul, let me finish. I'm a very cynical ex-copper. I'm probably suspicious. The whole thing to me seems to be, initially it was all political, and to me it seems to be money. You meaning the family of Rajput wants the case to be murder. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, fair enough. I think what you're saying is that no one can direct this investigation. No one should set timelines. The law allows 90 days. Let's wait for those 90 days. Fair enough, viewers. But we will question everyone. We question everybody, just like we question the Mumbai police. We will question the centre. We will ask them at least for a status report. I think, in all honesty, some of us need to know out there who have our emotions invested. Not talking about Times Now, but certainly all you viewers who have loyally watched Times Now for the latest. I'm sure as you have come in, spoken to us today, reflected your point of view, you are awaiting some kind of closure. We'll take a short break. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Big story, viewers. Coming up, don't go away.